I saw it run it, and you guys didn't work on.
It's going to be interesting one way or another. Certainly the Bastion is not going to be coming out here, guys. The dream is not going to be real. And I just want to note one thing. For people thinking that Spicy Boys is a dumb team name, let me just tell you that they are nowhere near the #1 in Overwatch history.
Oh, no.
Me and Hex had to cast My Dog. The team name was actually just My Dog. So you can imagine the fun and horror we had at the same time as we casted that. Spicy Boys is no My Dog.
Everyone thinks too good for that, by the way.
Yeah, they were a team for weeks because Mitch and Jason had to cast My Dog as well. Like, several different casters had to deal with the horror of that team name before eventually they disbanded. Mendo was
Hex, I just want you to know that Mitch and Jason did a phenomenal job of casting My Dog.
Yeah, all right, that's enough. I do not want to reminisce about the days we had to do that. I do miss Team Tiny Rick, though. That was my favorite Overwatch team. But we do have pretty standard rollouts coming out from both teams. 4 tanks, a lot of beef on the field for both sides. We do have a mirror match, which means we are going to have a shield battle early on. Early charges, early hooks are going to be the name of the game.
Yeah, and right now for LG, they're not really trying to be too aggressive here yet. It is a little bit dangerous as a defense. If you spot a moment to go in, you certainly can, but if you lose on that gamble, you're going to lose a point, and they're going in right now. Super Fluke with the Zarya shield, charges in onto the Diva, going to be pulling her out of the fight. Ube capitalizes, gets a hook on the decop, so immediately here, LG going to be pushing Spicy Boys back just a little bit.
They got kind of cute on that, right? They didn't even just go right through the front, right by the statue. They rotated through Hotel. They ended up getting Casper onto high ground with Roadhog looking for hooks, but that left them vulnerable up front. They all ate a very early bio grenade, but that should wear off by the time they want to fight. Now we're getting into it.
We are getting into it. It is Spicy Boys trying to take up the heat right now. Super Fluke going to get on the coast early on, though. You lose your Ana, you lose the bulk of your healing, and Spicy Boys immediately get out. They don't even want to fight this anymore.
They had a really nice 4-man Earthshatter, not necessarily the cleanup they wanted, but it's essentially the same thing. It made them back off, and so that fight is completely reset where they have to get out. Now both Anas with their boost targets are going to be the next option. Flock takes out Kasi. That boost not coming anytime soon.
This has been a very, very rough day for Kasi here, at least in the opening King's Row. He's been dying early on several of these pushes, hasn't been able to get things done, and again, once your Ana dies, you are done in terms of healing. Lucio does have AoE healing, but it's nowhere near enough to keep your tanks up and alive for the punishment that they'd be receiving, so 2 minutes burned off the clock here. Spicy Boys having trouble getting it done, but they do have a lot of ults up and on the way.
While silver lining Kasi going down so early is that he's going to have his charge up for the next push here. They're going to have their Earthshatter up as well, so kind of a turnabout fair play here. They do boost onto Decop. He hits his Earthshatter as well. That is 2 quick kills to start this off this Spicy Boys.
And look at this, Tig has a Diva in his face, does not even want to risk throwing out the Graviton, does not want to be Midnight 2.0 right now, but doesn't need to as Decop able to swing the hammer, get all the kills he's looking for, and Spicy Boys will be taking this point and getting in the streets phase. And on the plus side, they still have their Graviton to set themselves up.
And while we do have a minute of downtime, I do want to remind you about Team Oink Oink, Here Comes the Boink. Also another contender, best Overwatch team name of the year. As we rotate into Streets Phase, a giant hook comes down onto Casper. He gets bubbled and saved out. It looks like the defense wants to initiate, get aggressive here, but a nice disengage from the offense. Really nothing to gain from fighting out there for the offense, so they will just back up.
And for Tig right now, he's showing a lot of patience. That was a moment where he could have thrown the Graviton out again, and really, he just does not want to throw it into that defensive matrix. Light is in the way, though. Here comes the defense. They drop the Earth Shatter, and they're looking to just get right in on the offense, but they get Graviton in turn, but Graviton might have been a little bit late in the fight. However, it's still working out here for the offense. Even though it's 3 for 3, their respawns are going to be coming in a little bit sooner, and they should be able to gain significant ground here into second.
Mineral playing really sneaky, just sitting on the corner of the cart, making sure that they cannot push at him, and Icefall the only ones left alive. They do stall it out momentarily, but that's going to be it. And to the surprise of no one, Ube is going to switch on to the Pharah. It has been his signature hero on King's Row defense, especially second point.
Alright, Spicy Boys moving it forward. Ultimate situation, slightly an edge of the defense as they go over here, but Decop has been explosive from time to time. Gonna be looking for that on-point Earthshadow to set things up here. Very well could get nano boosted early on just to let him go in, be aggressive. That has been the name of the game. And there you go, nano boost in on the Decop, waiting for a chance to drop the hammer. Gonna drop the hammer, knocks down Fluke, one of the main targets here, and Fluke gonna be going bye-bye here. So is Zarya. It's a double kill here for Decop, and Spicy Boys well on their way to taking second.
Ube is cleaning up the back
trying
line.
to turn around for the back line. They have no answer to this Pharah. The turnabout is happening.
Yeah, it took him a little long to get those kills for my taste. He had a little about 3 missed rockets here that I think he could have connected on earlier, would have been happier with that fight, but he is ended up taking out the backlines there. He is very far behind now, and now it is just a brawl on the point. Decop and Sickness still alive on this cart, though, but Ube still a menace in disguise, and as you said, they have no answer. I do not like that Earthshatter yet again from Decop. He dies, too.
The other thing that was a little bit confusing there was Spo going in. I get it, Ube was low, maybe you try and finish him off there, but most of the time as a Lucio, when you go in that deep, you're usually just going to take 2 rockets to the grill, and that's going to be it. And now Ube, this is one of the better Pharah ambush areas in the entire game. A lot of room to work here on Streets Phase X.
He does have to be a little careful. You have to coordinate with your team. Want to make sure you get a bubble or maybe a boost at all. He's just going to come up over the top. Gets the bubble. Here comes the barrage. Booked.
Unfortunately, the bubble goes away and Dreamcasper brings him back down to earth. He's got a whole hog right in off the sound barrier. Spicy Boys on the counter engage. No, Icefelt going to take him down with that bunny blaster. 5v5 right now is LG. Look at push it back in. Icefelt, no fear, diving deep in this backline, creating all sorts of space for the rest of LG. And LG for now doing well. Spree though got nano boosted, taking a nap instead. I think he was hoping to get a grab out. Instead, he's going to be lucky to even live here as he is very far away from help.
That's just yet another beautiful dart that lands down onto Spree to take him out of the fight, and good coordination to not wake him up. Casper is now on the Tracer trying to create all sorts of havoc. The entire team is split apart. Ube's got to be a little careful back here if they try to do the Tracer v Tracer. Ube goes down to a grenade. The splash and scream of Tracer is something I am all too familiar with. It hurts my soul.
It's real unfortunate, Hex. One day. But you take a look at Spicy Boys here. They do have a bit of momentum on their side. The defense, relatively the same in terms of all power, so this very well could be an ultimate showdown coming up here where whatever team wins is going to get a big time benefit in their hands. And for the defense, that could be all they need, really, to set this up for a hold. But here we go. Tig, Graviton Surge on the way. Gonna be pulling in the Ana, but while that goes on, Ube in over the top, gets the kill on the Kosi. And this fight going far more in favor of LG. They're going to get a defensive hold.
Well, they did have a burner sound barrier there, so that is going to be an advantage that the Spicy Boys do have incoming, because Spo is at about 85% now. He's going to have that sound barrier up for their next engagement as well. Kosi will have his nano boost up too, so there's some tools to work with. Really, I just want to see where Casper's going to try to stick this pulse bomb.
Well, Dream right now looking for his opportunity, but his team is dying all behind him. Diva's ult rings true. Tig going to fall here, and Dream just gonna have to hold on to that pulse bomb for a little bit longer. Really, about 2 team fights away are Luminosity here from getting a hold here on last.
Yeah, I have to imagine that Casper is holding on to this bomb. He's going to try to stick it, then might switch to something else, because Ube is finally taken out by Kasi, but you really don't want your Ana to be spending all of her time and effort dealing with a rogue Pharah.
Dreamcasper right now goes for the bomb, does not connect, still laying in damage in the Spree, not a whole lot helping him. There comes the hammer in from Decop, gonna be all the cleanup that Spicy Boys need. And now, Hex, the question is, will they be able to maintain this momentum in the last? How much can the defense set up, especially with Ube getting staggered?
It's going to be very difficult, but they do have enough time. The cart moves slowly enough that they should be able to regroup and get one last fight in here. The problem is the cupboard is bare. Ube is going to have one of the best barrages you've ever seen. Very difficult to pull off this high level of play.
Well, Ube right now is going to have to go there well, except the Diva right in his face right now. Not a very healthy Diva, but still not letting him get position. Meanwhile, Pluke down on the point. Ube in over the top, looking for the miracle. Justice raining from above, gets Decop, and stays alive in the process more than he could have hoped for. And the defense of LG very well could be holding right here, right now. 12 seconds left, and the offense is in shambles.
Really played around their Pharah there, knowing it was their last best shot. Got the bubble and the defense matrix in front of the Pharah to make sure that she wasn't taking any rogue damage. The pulse bomb does come in, gets nothing as Casper takes a long trip off of the edge of the map. They are holding strong on this defense. Only 2 tanks up, still pushing this.
All right, Ube with the cleanup towards the very end. The offense just struggling to keep this in motion, but this should be a 3rd point hold here from the side of LG. Dreamcasper looking for the Dream, not going to get it. A little bit of delay there from Spo while riding tech in action. Even a Sombra coming out towards the end. But not quite enough. Decent push from the offense, but a very heroic hold coming in from the defense, especially given the momentum that we saw was coming in to set all of that up.
I just love how you say, like, your Pharah stays alive through that barrage more than you can expect. Man, yeah, that's so true, and it's so sad.
I mean, honestly, the real thing about Pharah is that Justice may rain from above and she might get 2 to 3 kills, but unfortunately, Pharah is part of the Justice as her corpse hits the floor, more often than not.
That is sadly true.
I didn't really think that the defensive fire was going to work. I'm not entirely sure that was the reason that they won that either. No, Dreamcatcher didn't really switch to McCree or Soldier throughout those times that we played fire. He was on Roadhog and on Tracer, but I think there was more Spree having a very good game and Super Fluke having a very good game, and just making the front line very difficult for Tig and Decop right now.
I do think that is somewhat of a domino effect, though, because the only person really pressuring Pharah was Kasi, and when he's pressuring Pharah, those are bolts that could be in the back of your tanks, making your front line a little bit stronger, too. So when you have to put your Ana on double duty like that to not only pressure down the Pharah, but heal your front line's just inevitably going to be weaker.
You see more Zen Ana from LG on offense on a lot of these maps, and I think they're going to be doing it again. It has backfired, and other teams have run things like May, and they have not adapted. But I'm a fan. I like Zed Ana. I think it'll also continue into the new patch.
I think Zed in general is pretty good as well in any situation that you're dealing with a Zarya that's ruining your day. I think people do underestimate just how good Transcendence is at stopping a lot of these Zarya team wipes, which frankly have dominated most of the day.
I haven't seen a whole lot of Mineral on Zenyatta. What's your read on that, Slasher?
He's pretty good. Pretty good.
All right.
No,
excellent. Hard hitting. Thank you, Rod.
Bunch in ranked, and he played Zen in ranked. I think it's a pretty solid option for this team to run. They can run Zen Ana pretty confidently.
Interesting to see the offensive 76 here. You always have to wonder if they are going to run this, if he's going to try to get around to the back to the hotel, take the high ground. It looks like they're just going to kind of sweep out over the right and try to win this shield battle. Hook comes in the side, though. There it goes. The Zen Dream dead. Casper does give his life up for it.
Ube hooking second there and getting well rewarded. Dream Casper is down, pulls another Diva in, and Sickness gonna be in rough shape here. Does go down. 2 pickoffs here for LG, and even though they lost some of their members in turn, they're gonna have respawns coming in, and another hook for Ube. Ube cleaning the house of the Spicy Boys. He's not a fan of the Spice, and Spicy Boys gonna have to be backing this up just a bit. I think they're gonna have one attempt to try and retake this, but their positioning heck's not gonna be super great.
Yeah, even trades like that are always good for the offense. Once they got 3 kills, you have to think they're just in a great spot here. The defense will come in and try to take this back. They've got 4. The tanks are going to run into each other and collide. They all eat a fire grenade, but Ube continues his reign of terror.
Nothing is on Ube right now. He's at full health, about to get another hook at 6 seconds. Grabs the Ana. Ana does get saved momentarily by the Zarya shield. And the defense, if nothing else, is buying time here. They have staggered quite a bit. They've lost several people, and the offense is going to be able to reinforce. But this is still a good stall, nonetheless.
The defense has to be pretty happy that they held those first couple points. The reinforcement defense there especially. I would be stunned if they can hold this next one. It's going to rely a lot, but that's 5, 6 ultimates incoming on this now. Both grabs out.
Well, everyone is getting the full group hug treatment, but Mineral with the Transcendence keeping everyone alive that was in that Graviton. This should be a very clean wipe here from Luminosity and the start of their payload, moving it forward. And Hex, what do you think about the amount of ults that they had to use to get in here? How much of a benefit is it to the side of Spicy Boys that they don't have to deal with that now on second?
I mean, they just really did cash in, didn't they? I mean, the fact that they didn't use an Ana boost is actually a little surprising. They threw everything they had at it. The Transcendence, it wasn't necessary. The Graviton was absolutely necessary. So those you had to use. I think the Earth Shatter even was necessary. So there's a lot of times where you're like, wow, they committed too much to it. Pretty much every single ultimate they used was absolutely necessary to make sure that they won that team fight.
Alright, so we do have a swap off here. Mineral forsaking everyone's favorite Robot Monk now on Lucio. And Sickness very soon to have a self-destruct here, but Tig is a little bit too far out. Gets himself picked off early on, and now Spicy Boys going to have to concede a lot more of second than they otherwise would have wanted. And Hex, they didn't even have a really good attempt at a fight there. The pickoff was just raw. Yeah,
and they even had a slept super block who had that Ana boost on him and still were just outgunned on the side there. It was a weird angle they found themselves in. Sickness going to go down very late. Some mentioning about the hook version perhaps coming into play for Spo as he is dead. They're going to have a hard time coming back here, but it's a point they have to contest. They have to charge in here. You don't want to get this up with 3.
Well, they're charging in, but they're getting charged first. Luminosity Gaming stepping on the throat right now, trying to keep the mum going forward. They will get the second point, and look at this. The Spicy Boys, despite having 4 people up, they're not even able to get on the cart right now. This aggression coming out from Luminosity Gaming is crazy. However, this might be the breaker right now. Decop drops the Earth Shatter, knocks down 2, gets the charge on the Ube, and Spicy Boys struggling to regain a little bit of normalcy.
Mineral is back on the Lucio. I mean, some debate going on whether it's Hook 1.0 or the fact that Ube is playing at 150 ping, so those hooks are always going to feel kind of odd. Maybe he has cracked the system on how to get those hooks to always work for you. They are going to have more of a bit of an alt advantage here. I really did, I'm not sure why they wanted to go back to Lucio, mostly because I like Zenyatta. I thought the Discord was absolutely wrecking people, but they did switch off of it. They're going to whole hog in to initiate this.
Spree right now moving in, although as he's trying to get closer, everyone's getting pushed back by the whole hog. On one hand, it's buying them room. On the other hand, a little bit of anti-synergy going on there from LG. Here comes the defense, though. They are pushing it in. Spree holding it to Graviton. Doesn't want to throw it into a defensive matrix here just yet. Throws it into a defensive matrix anyways. Not like this. Spree not getting any value off that. It's a great get by Sickness, but we'll see if the defense can still hold. They're still getting pushed back a bit.
Spree takes his revenge on Sickness, does end up demeching and taking him down. Ube out of this fight to Casper. A giant Earth Shatter knocks down 4. The cleanup is there. That is a full cleanup on this offense. Defense will have one more chance to get out here. Some ults to work with, but backs against the wall.
Absolutely. LG right now looking for the kill. Remember, they don't even have to fish out the map. They just got to get to the yellow square of destiny right now. This will end one way or another as Tig has the Graviton up and at the ready. Throws down the Graviton, does not have a Gideon, and there's Decomp with the Earthshare follow through. I don't know if the damage is there, but it is Sickness. The self-destruct. 3 ultimates cashed in for 2 kills. I'm going to note there, Sickness also just bopped Icefeld to his death as well, just very casually.
No big deal, just bop an Icefeld to his death. So Ube is going to switch it up, and Pharah is going to be his hero of choice. Now, 150 ping may help you hit some wonky hooks. It does not necessarily help you hit predicted projectiles. So we'll see what he can do, but his defensive Pharah was fine.
Ube right now in over the top, and I think Pharah for him is more so than anything else. It's a comfort pick. It's something that he likes going to when nothing else is working. And we'll see if it works out here. Pharah definitely has a lot of options here on this part of King's Row. A lot of nooks to hide in, areas that come in under the bottom, over the top. A lot of cool Pharah tricks here, and Ube right now knows how to use every single one of them, but not doing the greatest at building up his ult here, and oh my goodness, is that another Eating Graviton Hex?
It may have been, but the Earth Shatter did come through, and now here comes the Sound Barrier as well. They were looking to completely clean this up. I think the Sound Barrier could have been staggered, but they want to make sure that they win this fight. The Earth Shatter was probably enough to take that. Now they would like to have Sound Barrier as they try to push into last. Some decent delay tactics by Sickness right now. Icefeld's got a self-destruct. That is it. Now it is just simply stall time. You're going to need to see some red in the left side of the kill feed.
Absolutely, and Ube right now, nothing is on him. He has pretty much had the run of everything up here. Icefeld gonna go for the fireworks at the top. LG close to finishing out the yellow square, almost there. 0.59 meters for LG to take game 1. All kills in their favor. Sickness, the last one up. He will fall, and Luminosity Gaming going to take map 1 away from the Spicy Boys.
Final score 3-2.
Pharah's back, boys. Kind of. Pharah's back on King's Row last. How's that? I think that's a fair statement.
I gotta say, by the way, overall, very good day for Divas here. They've been eating at the Zarya buffet. A lot of eating ults.
Oh, they even ate the Mei ult earlier. They had a little snow cone.
Spree had 2 ults eaten in a row. That's not a good look, to say the least.
And Luminosity won both of those fights anyway because of Superflute's Earth Shatter.
Yeah.
So really, he was helping them get through that map. Even Ube might have been distracting on Pharah, and they didn't really have a counter on either offense or defense, but it really was the tank play. Luminosity so far pulling them through.
Oh man, I'm just highly amused right now. This Diva Zarya interchange, but Spicy Boys, despite a decent effort, going to be falling in the first map here. Still a lot of time left to go here. This is a best out of 5, so they will get their pick in the next map, and we'll see if they can pull things back.
Going to Dorado.
Now, I think something to think about, especially as we go into Dorado here, is that Hammer's had a lot of success because Luminosity is liking to play this Zen Ana offense on payload lately. Why not run Mei? And especially on a map like that, if Luminosity is going to be stubborn and Mineral is not going to switch at the beginning of the game, then you could do a lot against that type of combination. At least force Luminosity to play Ana Lucio instead of the Zen Ana that they want to lately.
Traveling to Dorado.
I think we will see a Mei pick on this map. LG is going to attack first, but they've also been, toying with the idea of a little bit of Symmetra on maps here and there. I think Symmetra is still very good on this map, although not always getting the play.
I mean, it really is to force Luminosity. I mean, if Luminosity wants to play this Zen Ana slow approach, which is able to get you first point, it seems like they switch off into Lucio for their second points, like they did on King's Row. They were doing that earlier here, just because of how far the second points are in most of the payload maps. Lucio seems like the right approach. Throw them off a little bit, make them a little bit more uncomfortable, play the traditional triple tank, Lucio, Ana, to start with. I do think that it's probably a little bit better for hammers than what Spicy can run it.
Definitely going to be interesting here, especially on Dorado, which we've seen a little bit less of recently, to see how this works out. We did talk a little bit earlier about how Diva play in particular really can be impactful on Dorado with all the different areas that you can get very big self-destructs on. And even though I think Icefeld has definitely upped his level of play, I feel like Icefeld has upped his level of play more so from where he's positioning his Diva and where he's firing his primary weapon, and less so from getting crazy good ultimate. Sickness, on the other hand, has been very consistent in getting big Diva plays in terms of those big self-destructs, so maybe that part alone will help Spicy going into the somewhat, but right now, I will note one thing. We are not seeing a Symmetra on the defense, so Spicy not going for that high-risk, high-reward opening.
But they are running Zen, and they are electing to play the Zen Ana defense, it looks like. I don't think Spo is going to be coming back. We know Spo is very, very good Zen player. They're electing to do this rather than try the Symmetra, which I think can go either way. I even think in the future, the Symmetra Ana will become a little bit less reliant, just because Ana's getting a little bit nerfed, and she might have an easier chance of dying because she can't heal as much people, where Zen Ana will probably get a little bit of a bump post-patch.
Slasher and Hex, I want to take you back in time just a little bit to DreamHack, where one of the best tools of having a first point defensive hold against a team is almost certainly going to be running Zarya is the Zenyatta. We saw Custa do that against NIP multiple times to get those first point holds. I think it's actually a very good idea here, especially with how much Luminosity has been clutching on Spree to land good Gravitons. Although they did manage to go through without those good Gravitons in the last map, so we'll see how it works out one way or another. But hey, if the Graviton does get through the defense matrix, Spo might be there.
Well, Casper is on the 76, which I find as an interesting pick for this map, especially if you're not going to try to even poke or take the high ground at all. He's just going to be hanging back a little bit on top of the canopied food market there, trying to get some damage in. I haven't seen him play Mei, but I really like Mei's Zenyatta here, as long as we're just throwing stuff like that out there. Shield is about to go down for Decop, and it's about to get real nasty on the card.
Cart right now is heating up, and Dreaming right now really untouched in the backline, just laying damage into the shield, laying damage into any tanks he can get, and this is a very non-committal fight from both teams. They're just playing the poke war, but Sickness, a little bit too far deep, is taken out. Without that Diva to help support, this could get very rough very quickly for the Spicy boys. It's going to put more pressure on Dreamcasper to find a big play, but here we go. Fight is underway, and there is Reinhardt, Super Fluke, running out the Nano Boost, picks off 2, and Hex, is this all but done?
Yes, it is. If you're going to run tanks like that against a 76 or something like that, you're not going to run your own DPS or anything to get and harass him. That at some point, that's exactly what you have to do. You just have to go, and giving your Reinhardt the boost is a great way to keep him alive. He was discorded and focused and still stayed alive. That's how good the resistance can be and the healing can be from Ana. So at a certain point, you got to deal with the DPS who's being untouched, and you just got to go push him and kill him. It's exactly what they did. That fight was over very quickly.
Well, I do have a make or break moment coming up here in a moment. Spree has gotten a Graviton. I'm sure Sickness would like to go 3 for 3 right now, but even if this Graviton hits, the Transcendence is on the way, and Spree gonna get knocked right to the ground. Earth Shatter coming in to start out this fight, and the defense being highly aggro here. Dreamcasper on the flank, Nano Visor in action, takes down 2. A lot of ultimates converted here for Spicy Boys to get this team wipe, but it is very decisive.
And Dreamcasper absolutely cleaning it up. Icefeld just got there a second too late, did not have his cooldowns up when they needed to be. Got behind Dreamcasper, was able to get some of that deflected, but the damage had already been done. If you're not anticipating that tac visor is going to come out, it's already too late for your Diva player. However, they're going to have 6 ultimates to work with. Casper's in a behind position. As long as they can turn this corner, he's going to be out of position for this next fight. They just need to not.
You just see Sickness looking at Spree right in the face. You know he's looking for. Spree comes in, Graviton connects, but there's the Transcendence coming out from Spo. Spo gonna keep most of them up and healthy. Doesn't deal with burst damage all that well, but it does deal with the rest as Sickness gets to work in the backline, picks off 2. And the Transcendence of Spo doing its job in keeping the Spicy Boys alive as they defend that Graviton push.
One of the big things about Transcendence is it keeps him alive too. Sometimes Sunbearer can do that for your team through those self-destructs, but your Zenyatta's always going to live. It's completely invulnerable through those things. Yes, the burst damage can get some people down around you, but it's really generally good against Graviton. Self-destructs, not always, but since Gravitons have been so pivotal, like you've mentioned, I think the Transcendence is the absolute right call, not to mention all the utility they're getting out of Discord.
Also, just think about the pressure it puts on Spree here. Spree not only has to worry about not hitting a defensive matrix, but also has to worry about Zenyatta being anywhere near and having his ult up, so makes the Graviton decision-making
This team's only running 2 tanks. This team's only running 2 tanks. Tig pays for it immediately. Going on McCree, he is hooked in and killed. So for a moment, we had double hit scan on the defense, but that McCree goes down immediately. They're still not really contesting this high ground that well.
While Sickness goes for the fireworks, takes down Ube, and we'll see if not running 3 tanks is actually going to hurt Spicy Boys here. They are giving up some ground, but they're positioning in such a way that they will get a final fight here before Luminosity is able to get this to second point. Sickness definitely just looking for a chance to drop in over the top, but here we go. Fight is underway. Super Pook has the nano boost on him. Swings the hammer, finds Decomp, gonna be knocking down 2, and that should be all LG needs to take the second point and bring their assault to third.
It's as pure of a 1 ult for 2 ults trades that you can get. He absolutely earth-shattered the boosted Soldier 76, takes down 2 ults with 1. Spo out here just trying to get some stall out. He's going to get whole hogged off of the point, creating some space. It has been all the Luminosity gaming squad in the kill feed, and they will continue to push this towards last. Take switches
all
now.
All Spo did with that Transcendence was make Cozy just pray for sweet death. Instead of dying the 2 swings there, or 3 swings, he was just getting juggled repeatedly over and over again until finally the pain stopped.
Well, Tig did switch really quick to Zarya, then he was off it, now he's back on it again. I don't know if he just died very quickly or was just kind of rethinking his choice there, but Tig has been kind of rotating through heroes right now. They're looking for answers here, but right now it has been all Luminosity. The charge comes in, a beautiful Earth Shatter, though, might swing things in Spicy Boy's favor.
Spree was going in for the Graviton. Unfortunately, everything hit him like a truck. He's taken out immediately. Super Pook, though, still here for LG, looking for an Earth Shatter. The rest of his team dying all around him, and he is just very casually reversing back. Just stealth Reinhardt. Yeah, I don't actually want to be a part of this. Forward, back, whatever it might be. Super Pook not in there, and you take a look at the next fight, though, Hex. LG seems pretty well positioned.
They should be able to win this next fight, just based on the pure math of it. They've got the giant ultimates in the game. Of course, Earthshatter and Graviton, 2 of the biggest ultimates in the game, both at the ready. Cozy's very likely going to have to use his boost defensively for whoever gets targeted out here, just try to keep him alive.
So for LG, best opportunity here would be a good Graviton set things up. The Graviton goes in under the bottom, not going to get defensive matrix there, and we'll see if the fall through is there. Icefeld went for the self-destruct, didn't actually get anything from it, and unfortunately for LG, their ultimate combination not really succeeding here. It gets them 1 pick off for what has been 3 ults here so far. Earthshatter comes in late in the fight, and the Earthshatter might be what they need. Late Graviton in here from Tig, trying to turn it back the other way. Not quite doing the work though, as Ube comes in off the flank, picks off the double, and LG well positioned now to potentially end this in just a moment.
And Ube needed that for a redemption too, because when that Graviton came in and then self-destruct came in, it had everyone in chaos up top. He was supposed to be the cleanup crew up there in the hallway. There were 2 people completely exposed as the shield had to flip around. He missed his hooks, he missed his shots, but finally gets them very late in the fight.
Ube right now rolling right in here, whole hog up and at the ready, and in the end, the defense not able to get through that whole hog and get in there in time. I think they probably could have. They were holding a little bit further back for fear of dying, but decent time here for the side of LG. They were able to finish things out. They have a minute 15 left, and having that extra buffer is important. Teams don't even always finish on Dorado. It's one of the harder maps in the game to get full completion on, so for LG, you gotta like where you're at right now.
You can talk about nearly every point of Dorado as one of the hardest points to take. I mean, we've seen first be held, we've seen second be held, third is just a nightmare at some point in time. What do you think they were trying there, Slasher? There was a lot of interesting stuff going on in the composition for Spicy Boys.
Yeah, well, one, Spicy Boys got to get on the point. At the end, okay, maybe there's whole hog, but there's opportunities there. And even 1 minute and 15 seconds left to go on Dorado is still pretty good time for Luminosity. I think the real thing that I saw out of Spicy, and the risk is when you run Zen Ana on defense, and they even went double hit scan Zen Ana, which I think will be pretty powerful once the new patch hits. But you run the risk of not having Lucio and being able to reinforce fast enough, and that hurts your positioning. So whenever they lost high ground, and Ube got two Roadhog 1.0 hooks off the high ground, picking off Tig and then picking off Spo, it's going to be pretty much impossible to take the second point. They've stayed zen, and they didn't get enough off the transcendences as they wanted to. But because they didn't have room steal, they really only had one main fight third point, one main fight second point. If you lose those, you can't get back in time to have another fight.
Come on, let's bring it together.
Take your medicine.
All right, offense of Spicy Boys preparing right here, right now. Not going to be seeing anything too crazy here, unfortunately. Will be the standard quad tank lineup with Lucio and Ana. Meanwhile, we take a look at the defense. Mineral coming out on the Symmetra, so Luminosity Gaming willing to take this gamble. If it pays off, it could give them a very strong chance at first point hold. If they lose the first fight, it's probably going to cost them the point. And the first hook coming in here from Dreamcasper gets on the Hedan. There's no better pickoff. Healing is not on the menu right now for LG.
Single support, that is the big problem, and they know that that healing is off the menu. They're backing up as far as possible. They know they have to concede most of the courtyard here and are just praying for their enemy to get back as soon as possible. Look how far they're just in the archway. They know they can't fight. Yeah. Their only saving grace is that they still have to push the cart here. They will be able to fight at least once, and if Mineral can get a tele up or a shield generator, which is close to, they could bring this all the way back.
Oh no, not again! Dreamcasper finds Hedan as soon as he gets back in. The terrorizing from this Roadhog continuing. No Ana is safe. Dreamcasper getting the very crucial picks for Spicy Boys. They're gonna take this first point with ease.
I don't mean to laugh, but I think a lot of people, after months and months of Ana abuse, are pretty happy to see those sequence of events right there. That is a rough couple of lives for Hedan. They could have perhaps brought it back because, like I said, they were about to have a tele up.
Oh man, you know, as much as people might hand Roadhog from time to time, you are absolutely right. Ana gets more hate, so that's a case where people will be cheered for Dreamin'. Look at this Hex, he's waiting for the Ana again. If he finds Hedan 3 for 3 here, I am just going to explode in laughter because that's just not cool. Look, he's still looking for it. However, the rest of Luminosity going in on his team, he has to go for a hook sooner rather than later. Does go on the spree. He's actually in good position for a Holog here if Ube does not dome him. Look at the support coming in from Reinhardt. Decop keeping Dreamcasper alive and well in what was a very tricky situation. Defense buying some time here, but oh my goodness, the hook out of the sky. Dreamcasper is on fire.
Well, like I said, look at this Kofi for Dreamcasper. It's not just the hooks, because he got both of them, which means that he's hitting his shots as well, and that has been his MO on Roadhog, which is why I find his Roadhog so impressive. I think it's his best hero that he plays. He's been opening up every single fight with kills, and like I said, he's been doing it the entire tournament, getting these entry kills, making fights uneven. He gets slept. Finally, they're trying to deal with him.
Finally, there's sweet, sweet revenge. He gets a hook on the Hedan, but Hedan brought his family there. They went back in on that. Desperation Soundbear coming out here from Spicy Boys, but they are in full retreat. But now they're going back in. The Graviton is in, pulls in 3. They're knocked to the ground during that Graviton, so they're not going to get too much. A nice defensive Earth Shatter coming out, and the defense finally going to be getting some degree of reprieve. And it's because, you know what, they actually supported Hedan there and didn't let him die to Roadhog again.
You have to support your supports. That's absolutely true. And Hedan got this sleep dart. He just needed someone to clean him up. Icefeld was up to the task. Really smart. They're going to use the boost to rotate all the way back around. They want to prioritize this high ground. They are giving up a little bit of free push, so it's they almost are past the point where they can abuse high ground, but not quite.
Spree going in for the Graviton. It does connect. 4 people in on that Graviton. Fall through coming in. It's Icefeld with a 3K. That is going to seal this fight for LG. A successful Graviton self-destruct combo, and this has been really good. Hex have bought themselves 2 extra minutes here in second for a game that was at one point looking to go very spicy.
Ube a little too far out there, a little too ambitious right there. He does have his ultimate up, but the impressive thing about Luminosity is that they've not just burned everything, they're about to have a bunch of ultimates online to make this a pretty fair fight incoming.
Ube right now trying to get back in, gonna be taking high ground here on the 76. Tac Visor up and at the ready. Let's see how this works out right now, waiting for his opportunity. Here comes the Tac Visor, coming out pretty early in the fight. Doesn't have the greatest amount of targets. Super Fluke charging in with the Nano Boost. Also doesn't get anything, so LG's been cashing in ultimates for no reward here. But you take a look at Spicy, they're very poked down. Finally, it's working against them. They lose both Decop and Dreamcasper, and this should be enough for LG, despite not being the cleanest of fights.
They sent Super Pluke to the moon right there. He got whole hogged pretty much to the skybox limit of the map, able to come down and hit a charge, which was rather impressive. Casper has had enough of Roadhog. He's going to switch to a 76. I have to wonder if this means, yep, he is going to flank around to the right side, try to open things up a little bit. Oftentimes is where you see 76s set up. Spree Seeking on Sickness very late, though, is going to kind of cause this push to be delayed, or it should be. Otherwise, they're going to be in a bad spot. They are rotating all the way around the right side. They have to wait, though.
Well, Hex, I'll tell you this much. If you learned anything about Dream Casper is that he does like hanging out in a window and hoping that no one looks at him. So we'll see if that's the case here. Tig, though, 94%. Going to have a Graviton up in just a moment. Desperately looking for it. Doesn't have it right now. Just saying, look, we shoot anything that's not shielded. Meanwhile, Icefelt gets on the SPO. Spicy Boys probably not be able to turn this around, and Tig just holds on to that ultimate as Icefelt does terrible damage into the backline once more.
Well, Superplug did solo ult Casper there. Casper did end up dying, but I think that's an ult he would have liked to have back. He was kind of on the verge of death right there. Not the biggest of deals, but, you know, Earthshatter, always a big deal whenever it gets used. However, their economy has just been so strong that they're going to have ultimates up to use. It has been pretty even economy-wise back and forth. I have to imagine, though, that this is the fight that Spicy throws everything on the table.
Well, they do. They have 5 ultimates up. This is a must-win situation. Graviton up and out the right for Tig. Going to connect on the top. Doesn't get maybe as much into it as we want, but does effectively disable people enough for Sickness to get the fall through. 2 kills here from Spicy Boys, and they are turning up the heat. Moving in. 3 unanswered kills here from Sickness, and that should be enough to let them begin their assault on third.
That Graviton is beautiful because it had the Reinhardt on the bottom and the 2 up top. There was absolutely nothing they could do except watch their fate explode over top of them with that self-destruct. They're going to come out and try to stall out a little bit. Actually, they're going to full out fight this.
They're moving in. Sickness gonna get slept, and it's a last-ditch effort coming out here from the defense, and Graviton does come in. They get 2 kills off of it. The offense still maintaining a bit of momentum, but it's Icefelt looking to be the hero once more. This is degenerating into a very small-scale fight, and we are gonna have to pause after this fight. SPO has left.
Does appear so. Fight is still not quite over. 2v1, 3v1 right now as Sickness still in there.
And Sickness right now trying to be the hero with SPO out of the game. Self-destruct comes in, does not get anything, and they might be able to hold this without SPO. We'll see. The offense coming back in, going to be doing their best in a 5v6 situation.
It's, the
LG, though, has fully regrouped here. 2 kills, and this is looking like it will, in fact, be a hold.
I mean, it sucks that it happened, but that fight was not going to end. It is overtime. There was no way to... Man, I'm going to get it from SPO, aren't I?
You know, it was in the middle of a fight, and he already deemed you a fair and just arbiter. These things happen here, Hex. I don't think we're dealing with another Kai situation.
The DC is just awful right there because it's in overtime. That fight's not going to end. When the fight ends, the game's over. So there's no possible chance to pause there. Disconnects are a brutal part of the game, and that sucks that that happens, especially in that situation.
Like Hex, let me put it to you this way. If it were Kai and you didn't pause,
well,
you'd be waking up tomorrow with a severed Zenyatta head in your bed. SPO, I think, is much more reasonable, so I wouldn't sweat it.
Yeah, it's a tough time to disconnect there on the end, so that will be Dorado in favor of Luminosity as well. We will wait for the next map for SPO to reconnect here, and we'll see what map they want to go to with their tournament life on the line.
I mean, that is quite unfortunate, because that was... You know, right at the end of the checkpoint, it's possible they take that, even though Luminosity did come in with this pretty strong response into grabs. So Superpook got another Earth Shatter off, even after using ult a little bit before. I can see LG winning that fight anyway.
Well, Hex is apologizing to SPO right now, but SPO has yet to reconnect into the lobby. Worth noting. It is unfortunate. These are online tournaments. Usually internet behaves and things go well. Sometimes they don't go well, and that is the E in esports. Electronics do fail.
Unfortunately, they do. See if they do have a map choice for us. So, of course, we will wait for SPO to get back here going into... Well, I mean, they're down 0-2, so it's a decisive map every time Spicy Boys takes the field. Now, Luminosity playing pretty well, though, overall. I mean, disconnect notwithstanding. I thought they just... Super Plock, I think, had one of his better games. And, yeah, just overall playing pretty decent. Is there anything super interesting that we might have missed, except for maybe don't run Symmetra ever, or don't lose your support early on?
I mean, that was more Dream, I think, making plays happen. I mean, getting Hidan twice and making it very difficult for Mineral to ever get. up a TP or shield gen, and then even getting picks later on, like the hook onto Ube. He was making things really hard for Luminosity. I think it's more the other players on Spicy. That Decop is not having the greatest time against Pluk in that battle.
I mean, Dream had one of the best Roadhog openings I think we've seen in recent memory. It really harkens back to the days where Harblu effectively all-killed Cloud9 on Watchpoint Gibraltar for a time. Unfortunately, wasn't able to keep that momentum up throughout the entire course of the game, but it was still a good opening, and it's unfortunate for Spicy Boys that they got stalled out that much at second. Conversely, it was a very good effort by LG to actually have that hold, and certainly Icefeld, it's very interesting. I feel like Icefeld really doesn't have the greatest grasp of how to get good D.Va ults off, but his positioning, he got himself into positions where he was able to pick 2-3 kills repeatedly just with D.Va's primary fire, so credit where his credit is due to how Icefeld was able to disrupt and control on second.
I really did like, too, that when the Spicy Boys did decide to take a different angle and come around that right side, that is one of the better attack positions you can get. If the card is far enough, I think that's where you should be attacking on offense a lot of the times. But Luminosity was smart to not let them get set up over there. They snipped it out, they knew it was coming, and they just decided to throw everything they had on it. And they ended up fighting on stairways, ended up winning that fight, knocking people off the edge, too. You don't want to let the offense set up on that top right side and give them that good high ground, and they completely denied it by being aggressive on the defense.
I mean, that is a map that really, considering how the start went, Spicy Boys should be able to get through the second checkpoint because they steamrolled so quickly through first checkpoint. He got so many picks that's going to give them the ult advantage going in. Luminosity were able to still be able to set up and play defense long enough to then get the 4 or 5 ults on defense. And when you have that, no matter how much positioning Spicy Boys may have on the top right side of Church, Luminosity was more than likely going to have that fight. They didn't use that many ults. And going into that next fight, even though there's a good combination with Sickness and Tig with the Graviton on the high ground into Sickness's ult, you still had Pluk who was able to get Earth Shatter even afterwards with Spree using his Graviton. So the amount of ults that they had was the reason they were to take that map. Now it's going to be hard for Spicy. I mean, down 2-0, got to win 3 in a row.
The other thing, too, is that
hard.
For Spicy, even though they do have some veterans on their team, they are a newer team, and they do have some newer players on it. I feel like Dorado second stage is a trap to teams that don't have quite as much experience. It is a tricky point to attack. I would say it is up there with Watchpoint Gibraltar Hangar in terms of just difficulty in getting good engages once the defense has reestablished and got in positioning. And it didn't really feel like Spicy Boys really had great engage plans besides let's hope that Dreamcasper is able to hook someone in. And then when that didn't happen and he went to 76, they weren't really able to get things going compared to other more flatter maps where you really can just save up ults, roll in, and sort of deathball your way to victory. Dorado doesn't really let you do that, especially if the defense has good positioning, which LG certainly had.
I mean, it's not going to get much easier for them, though, either. There's RAS 66 and Gibraltar, I believe, as the other payload maps in the map pool, both with high grounds, which can be abused and used throughout the second portions of their maps, and it's not going to get much easier.
For those who are wondering what we are waiting for right now, we are waiting for the one and only Spo to rejoin the lobby right now. He was restarting his router, but you never know when the Comcast Nation will attack.
I was going to say, I got a guy now, so I could hook him up with the Comcast Nation.
That just sounds so illicit. It's like, if he's had this probably, I got a guy.
I mean, the story, while we have a moment, is that my internet was bad for 2 weeks, and I complained about it on our live stream enough that someone from Comcast, a senior engineer, tweeted me, reached out at me,
really?
and and then he found there was a problem in my neighborhood and sent out a tech team. My whole neighborhood was affected. No one really knew because no one nerds out, I guess, like I do. And then they sent out a tech team to fix the internet. It's the best thing that casting's ever done for me was get this stuff fixed.
So wait,
of all things, that was the top level.
So you complained about Comcast a lot, and it helped?
Yes.
So all I have to do is continue to complain about Time Warner Cable, which is now Spectrum, by the way. For those of you who need to know the new name to complain, it is Spectrum.
I wonder if they're ever they're a little bit coy about it. They go, I'm calling Time Warner Cable. The problem's I'm sorry, we're not Time Warner Cable, we're Spectrum. You're going to have to call Time Warner, knowing in full well that they are actually, in fact, the old Time Warner.
Doesn't Spectrum sound like a shell company of a Bond villain, though? I don't know if that name is really the smartest way to go.
Oh my goodness. Well, the one good thing about Spectrum, if nothing else, unlike Comcast of recent days, they actually can't do bandwidth caps for 7 years as part of their merger, so that's a good thing. 7 years with no caps. As for me, I've probably gone over my 1 terabyte limit, and I don't even want to look at my Comcast bill.
Oh, dude, I didn't even bother with that. I immediately paid the overage. I'm like, just give me unlimited back. I'll pay for it. I don't want to have to worry about data.
That is fair. But getting on to other things like Overwatch, Spo apparently is back and is getting back in the lobby here in a moment, so we will be good to go for our third map here in just a moment as he loads back in.
If I'm Spicy, I take this to Lijiang. I think that both the other payload, I mean, they're going to have to win all the maps anyway to win the series. But if they want to get a little bit of momentum, maybe take it to Lijiang, play some King of the Hill, play some Deathmatch. You know, hope for the best, and then use that to try to ride it back. Well, guess not.
I mean, you did your best. They were going to go to Gibraltar instead.
I mean, this is a good map for Luminosity. It's not going to get any easier for Spicy to try to come back in the series. You know, I kind of feel like they're going to be right in a standard defense. Maybe they put Dream on hit scan. He's having such a good time on Roadhog that it feels like it would make sense if they stay quad tank. Maybe that Ana Zen defense again. It works pretty well on Gibraltar. We've seen it be successful if they wanted to do it on Dorado, which I think it went okay. Really, I mean, maybe it's both days in the game they were able to make it on offense. Their defense wasn't so bad. It's just tough to run Ana Zen. You don't have Lucio, and if you die, the penalty is just so much higher. But maybe this is a map you're down 2-0. You want to try to get a full hold on first point Gibraltar to try to secure you a victory.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, too, they have to win all the remaining maps, right? They're already down to... You have to win against Luminosity and Gibraltar at some point. Even though it is a good map for Luminosity, you might as well do it now, bite the bullet, and, you know, otherwise end your night early. So you do have to win every single map. Might as well... you know, the saying goes, swallow the frog first thing in the morning, then everything else gets easier.
Hey,
what type of analogous swallow the frog? You know what? I don't even want to know. I'm pretty good about obscure references and all the rest, but even that just makes me go complete
folksy,
what phase.
Right, it's a bit folksy.
It is very folksy. And you guys do have a good point here about the part where they have to win all 3 remaining maps. Although I do think that this is a little bit scary for Spicy Boys. Given their trouble in engaging on Dorado second, I feel like they would have similar issues engaging here on Watchpoint Gibraltar second, unless they take first with so much momentum that they're just able to steamroll through. So if there's a path to victory here for Spicy Boys, I feel like they're going to need to do it with a just incredibly quick attack or an incredibly good defense. I mean, but if they get stalled in the hangar, I don't think it's going to end well for them.
It does look like right now they are going to run Zen out of defense. So maybe they're trying to go for that first point hold to try to secure themselves a map, because if they lose one fight, there is pretty much no way they're going to be able to play a second fight. They're more than likely going to play back with the Zen and the Ana by glass. Maybe the Soldier is there, probably the Soldier being at blue, and Sickness trying to help both the Soldier of Dream and the Ana Zen from getting jumped down up high. It's still going to be pretty hard for them to defend this. Oh, by the way, Spo's ISP is indeed Spectrum. By the way.
Comcast, you're off the hook this time.
This time. All right, so offensively, they are running the big bodies on the field for tanks, as you mentioned. 76 making his appearance on Gibraltar. Not all that surprising, but seeing Spo still running this Zenyatta, a little bit interesting. They're going to try to get out here as quickly as possible, just doing a little poke up top. We'll see where they want to back up. Actually, not really an option to run server room now. With your 76, you have to run high ground defense.
Well, this goes back to the good old days where you used to see crossfire defense all the time here in Gibraltar. That came back into vogue once Soldier was a thing again after his recent buffs. And for how good Soldiers, or Dream Soldier is, I don't think this is necessarily the worst spot for them to defend. I think Spicy Boys does have a decent shot at this first point defense, but they can't really be too aggressive here. They need to let the offense move into them rather than them trying to dive in, because if you dive in this situation here, Hex, you're going to be in a case where, guess what? Your Soldier is not going to have great line of sight. He's going to have to give up his high ground, and that actually makes him vulnerable.
Yeah, I wonder what their answer to Soldier is going to be. You'd imagine you just send your Diva after him, but it seems like a suicide mission right now. They want to rotate and take high ground. Probably going to come through server room. They might even rotate all the way through top. Sometimes we see teams just completely rotate. Yep, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're just going to snag high ground away by rotating all the way up top.
Now what this does is that this is going to make Dream move. He has to move up over here. He still has the high ground, but it's a more even level. He's more vulnerable all the same. And look at how much he's just avoiding the side of Luminosity right now. Does not want to be near them whatsoever, but they're going to charge right in. They've built the Nano Boost. Super Fluke not getting anything off it just yet. Server usually a party for Reinhardt with Nano Boost, but was a little bit too vulnerable. The Discord Orb actually ruining his day just a bit, but Spree on the decop almost has an early Graviton built. It is 4v6 right now. LG with a big advantage. They're gonna get stuck in this Graviton. Nothing happens on it, and Spo uses a Transcendence in a case where it really wasn't gonna save the fight. So LG right now poised to get a whole lot of momentum.
It was a great grab, got 4 people, but there was absolutely no damage follow-up. Spo transcended into it, I think maybe hoping that someone was alive and needed to stay alive to clean up that Graviton. That wasn't the case. These split spawns could be brutal as Kasi and Tig come out late into the bottom spawns. One already goes down, that is Kasi. Tig soon to follow. It's one of the hardest parts of Gibraltar. When you die at a certain timing on this map, you get the terrible forward spawns and you generally just die again right after that. The one saving grace is they cleaned up Ube, so there's not going to be full force up in the shuttle.
Spree right now looking for the Graviton. The defensive matrix is up. He does not toss his Graviton into it. Still looking for his opportunity. It's 2 kills here from the defense, and Spree be well advised to hold on to that as the defense is going to get a very important wipe here. Offense perhaps a little bit too aggressive, and now they're going to have to deal with a fully set up defense from the side of the Spicy Boys.
Well, speaking of fully set up, the offense is fully set up as far as their ultimate charges go. You saw a self-destruct came in there late. It's the only one they're not going to have. However, a set-up defense on Gibraltar, it almost doesn't even matter how many ults you have. You better be going into it with 5 or 6 to even stand a chance. They have to find some way to take this high ground. Usually you send a diva up and hopefully knock someone off and let your ground crew clean up.
This is one of the harder areas in the game to get a really good Graviton with people on the high ground, but Spree going to the back line does get a Graviton with 4 people in. They weren't on the high ground, sets up Ube for that first kill. And really, 4 Spicy Boys is going to rough. They're going to put their faith in the Nano Boost, but the Tac Visor does not come in with it. Dream Casper, though, able to stay alive in and about. He can pop the Tac Visor now and potentially get some good success. Backing up for the moment. And we'll see if he goes back in with the rest of his team. The defense backs out just a bit, but here comes Attack Visor, Dream Casper on the way in. Earthshatter in from the offense, and the pressure continuing. Dream gets that back line. Lots of pressure on him, though, and he's going to fall.
Yeah, the Transcendence comes a little bit too late. I think Dream would have loved to have that as he got borked on really early. I think he ate a biotic grenade, though, so it may not have mattered, but that Transcendence is going to give a lot of space to a lot of people. Ube on the Widow from nowhere takes out Tig. I did not see that one coming, and now it's pretty rough. For Luminosity, they threw everything they had at it for a while. They were very patient, even saved the Earthshatter, but the Earthshatter didn't get everything they wanted done, got re-engaged on. Now no one really has anything up. I'm just really happy for you, because now you get to watch some Widow.
I am very happy. Also, Tig didn't see it coming either, Hex. That's a very good point to note here. The random Widow out of nowhere. Actually, Widow very good at cleaving through Zarya's if they don't have shield up. 300 damage, Zarya 400 HP. Not a good mix, but Ube right now looking for the pickoff right now. Absolutely no one on him. It is a own personal shooting gallery. The only limit is himself, but it's 5v5 right now. He's not getting the pickoffs they want, and Tig just going to melt him into slag as Spicy Boys will defend this successfully. And I like the approach coming in from LG, Hex. It just they weren't able to hit the Widow shots. Yeah,
Widow's very good on this map, or can be, especially as a switch up like that. I think just the timing when he even revealed himself, yes, he got the kill, but I think I would have preferred that he stayed hidden until the rest of his team went in, and then kind of the sneak attack would have been much more effective. They got out of those sight lines. Ube going to switch off and now onto a Tracer instead, so kind of similar, maybe pull them apart a little bit. Not exactly the same thing, but no one's really holding that high ground anymore for Spicy, so it doesn't much matter to have the Widow to try to contest top of shot.
Spree right now moving in. Defensive Matrix is out. He can't throw the Graviton in just yet. There it is. Patience pays off. Sets up the rest of the team. The Super Fluke picks up 3. Make it 4. This hammer will not be stopped. Good day to be a Reinhardt with Super in your name as LG gotta bring it forward. 5 kills for Super Fluke before it is all said and done. But I will say this, at least for the side of Spicy Boys, they've bought themselves a lot of time, Hex.
Split spawn yet again will take 3 down immediately as they try to regroup up here, try to get back to where they want to be, getting chased down a little bit by this Tracer, but split spawns have been the bane of this defense. They need to win this fight now. They're going to have to give up so much free push and kind of have to give up one of the better artificial chokes in the game, which is this angle around the bend. They do want to fight it right now, though.
but this is still a very good D.Va self-destruct angle. I would expect Cyctus to know exactly where to throw this here. Early hook comes in, get put Reinhardt out of base, and here comes the D.Va self-destruct going into the backline. Finds Spree early on. 5v5 right now on the point. Ube working the duel around. Find an opportunity, but his team is dying all around him. There will be no Tracer magic just yet.
Yeah, they were able to hook Super Pluke to get him out of that fight, which is really what prompted this self-destruct to go in, knowing that that shield was down, that it would find purchase at least a very little bit at the least. So now they're going to be able to hold this point. Now, it does not look like the traditional choke point in the game, but trust me, this choke point of trying to come up this hill is absolutely brutal. That's why you see so many teams get stalled out on last point of Gibraltar.
Ube just got absolutely thrown into the trash by Spo. Just one of the most brutal Zenyatta takedowns I've seen in recent times. And Hex, going into this next fight, what are you expecting here for the offense? Is this their window with 4 ultimates up?
Maybe. I think Ube has the free reign to throw down this pulse bomb wherever. I'm just looking at Flock, who's been the one to break open defenses all day for this team. He gets the boost early on. Self-destruct over top. Spo is going to have a hard time getting away from it. He dies, so now they get 2 very early kills. Flock is still holding on to his Earth Shatter, letting them kind of dance in. They need to deal with the D.Va behind. He's just giving them all the room they need to deal with that behind. He's just holding the shield up in front. And now they still have that Earth Shatter. Earth Shatter goes down on Casper.
Earth Shatter does come in. Icefeld applying the pain right after for the fall through. 3 kills coming in here from LG, and LG potentially on a victory march. But Transcendence still up here for Spicy Boys. That's going to let them stall it a lot, let them get everyone back up and hunt to the point. So it's still going to take one more fight. Spree could be the master of his own destiny here. Has the Graviton. Graviton is in. Transcendence going to be nullifying the bulk of this here. So they're going to be trading out. And it's a good Transcendence by Spo. Meanwhile, Decomp in. Nano boost on. Swings the hammer right in to the opposing Reinhardt's face. Super Pluke, though, buys a little bit of time to charge, but it's not going to be enough here just yet. The defense buying enough time here. We're in overtime. The offense losing member after member here. And the defense just needs a little bit more. But Ube now starting to pull this back. Hex picks up 2. And suddenly, this is still a contest.
Taking out Spo is so important there, too, because as the numbers dwindle, the discard gets that much more important. A giant grab will come out as Zarya exits spawn. Tig making a giant appearance for one of the first times this game. Luke still not having any of it as they continue to trade back and forth.
Ube went for the Desperation Pulse Bomb, but it was eaten. That's right, D.Va can eat more than that, but the offensive respawns are coming back in. LG potentially going to pull themselves back into this. Looking, praying, 0.8 meters away, 0.15 away. The defense on their last gasp, still coming out of the halls, getting back onto the point. They cannot leave for a single moment, and unfortunately, they do. The Graviton pulls Tig away, and LG finishes this out in a thriller. Really surprised the defense didn't hold that there, but you got to give credit to Ube for pulling that back.
I think the kill on Spo, I think, was the defining kill of that last push, because when you're getting down to those numbers of 4v4s, that Discord can be just absolutely a game changer. Everyone's getting deleted so quickly to be able to take down their support, but also one of their primary damage sources there at the end really allowed them to stay in it. It actually makes Tracer feel so much safer, too. A Discord on a Tracer means that you die to a wayward glance. If someone just looks at you wrong, you're dead. So taking that out allowed Ube to stay in there longer, and then getting the reinforcements. Came in with yet another Earth Shatter. He's had a really nice set.
Definitely worked out, and now this is do or die for the Spicy Boys. They are going to have to make things extra spicy here in Gibraltar if they want to stay alive and look for the reverse sweep. Otherwise, Luminosity will take the series 3-0 and move on to fight Hammers in the grand finals. So, of course, we know those two teams played each other very closely earlier in the day in the upper bracket finals. That would be a great series, but Spicy Boys still looking to make their mark.
Well, I don't think we're going to see something super out of the ordinary on the offense. It does look like they are queued up to, well, you know, well, they're queued up to do whatever they want, but defensively it looks like we're going to see 4 tags on the field at the very least to start it off. And as good as Icefeld is on the Tracer, I have to say it is nice to have someone as versatile as Ube has been. He's not, you know, he's been on a couple different rosters, somewhat of a newish addition to this team within the last month or so, but he's been playing everything and he hasn't really had a bad game on much. So maybe he's not the world beater on every single hero, but he's able to play a lot, and that cannot be understated in how important that is in Overwatch.
Indeed, and just for the people who are wondering why the Bastion usually just comes out in the beginning but is never actually played, D.Va being this prevalent in the meta has really taken away even niche options of playing Bastion, so that's why you don't even see him as sort of a surprise pick anymore. It is unfortunate, but way of the world. Hopefully we'll see our favorite robot again sometime soon. Offense, though, coming back in for the Spicy Boys. Defense will give them plenty of room, and you take a look at this defense, X, it doesn't appear like they're going for anything resembling a crossfire.
No, not really trying anything too different, just very standard on both sides. So again, charges and hooks going to start deciding this. Very early Earth Shatter from Decop takes down a couple. He will give his life for it, but that is 2 people on the ground, and Fluke and Mineral, they should be able to clean this up.
Hex, you could even say that Decop was laying down the law. This fight, though, not won by Spicy here just yet. Dreamcasper gonna have to look for a little bit more. Ube getting well supported here by Spree. Spree with the early Graviton might be on his way to bring this back. The Nano Boost getting him all sorts of damage for fall through, and that is gonna be LG pulling themselves back from the brink once more. And oh no, not like this. Not like this, that Lucio has a family.
Not anymore.
The staggering is real. And the disrespect at the same time. So LG, 2 for 1. Yikes.
It's just crazy to me how quickly these ults are coming out. It is definitely a byproduct of having that much health pools on the field. It's just insanity that you're getting these Earth Shatters, you're getting Gravitons up as quickly as you are.
Alright, offense coming back in here once more. Dreamcasper looking for the hook. Not going to get it early on. Whole Hog still in reserve. Nano Boost out here on Decop as he looks to move in once more, but he is getting pushed back by that Whole Hog. And Late Graviton coming to fight here from Tig. See if it's enough, and it is enough. 4 kills resulting for that Graviton. It took a while, but Spicy Boys will be getting into the hangar phase, and now you have to look out for that split spawn as Hedan is not going to leave here alive.
The split spawns really hurt the defense on the other side of the map here, and there will be a couple of late kills, and now the defense is going to have to come in through top right as always and try to re-establish themselves. It looks like they are going to rotate Ube onto a defensive Tracer here. We've seen so much more Tracer lately than usual. It's been really fun to watch, but that is the one switch up that we see. A lot of progress being made on the card as they have it split, 3 up top, 3 on the bottom.
And I feel like this is the moment here for Spicy Boys. They cannot get stopped here. If they do, they're going to have a much rougher time actually getting in. Tig, though, finds Hedan early on, going to take out that big source of healing sickness. Well supported here on top of the payload. 3 unanswered kills here from the Spicy Boys, and this engagement is seemingly a fail from Luminosity Gaming. Spicy Boys, Hex, might be able to bring this to the end of second point.
They're flying through it. The only kill was Mineral onto Spo, and that does not bode real well for your chances at defending. They might be able to bring one more in. Spree is going to have a Graviton up, but it seems like they are just going to give it up. No, they're going to rotate through right side. A big charge in from Flock.
Super Blue coming in, trying to make the most of this here. Icefelt does have self-destruct at the ready. It might be fireworks here sooner rather than later, but he's going to get knocked out of his mech. He can't make the fireworks happen, or at least didn't want to make it happen from that particular angle, and yet LG still hanging on here. Casper is down. Spree holding on to the Graviton Surge, looking for his opportunity. Doesn't throw it out here just yet. Going in and doesn't even need to throw it out. Going to get 2 raw kills. And now, Hex, how bad is this for Spicy given their trouble in engaging on high elevation now that Luminosity is regrouped?
It's super bad right now. It's going to be difficult. Tig is going to have a chance to get his Graviton going, but they're going to have to deal with Spree as well. So right now, you just want to see where your D.Va can get positioning going, but Icefeld's already up here to kind of negate any D.Va that comes in. She's going in alone, trying to isolate the Tracer, try to knock that off. That does not happen. A nice flick. A hook comes in late, though, takes Super Block out of it, grabs everywhere.
Graviton is out. Spree still holding on his. Graviton will survive the Reinhardt charge, actually backing away from that huge fight on top and sets up the big bang. Ube there at the fall through. 2 down. This fight's still a thing as Decop lays down the hammer, knocks down 2, moving in, swings the hammer, finds Super Fluke, and Spicy Boys going ultimate for ultimate here and might be coming out on top as the hammer of Decop is laying down the law.
Really going this cop angle.
I tried not to make that pun twice, but I couldn't really help myself. I'm a terrible person. I apologize.
Well, the fight
just hope he doesn't play over.
Throwing bodies into this. Flock does get the boost very late onto this point. He's going to get the bubble as well. A sound barrier will go on for the offense here as they try to push through, but positioning has been reestablished. Decop takes down Super Flock late, but they're just stalling out as much as possible. 1 or 2 kills, they could bring this back. It's still in favor of the Spicy Boys right now. That should end it, though. That's a huge Earth Shatter.
Another Earth Shatter coming in from Decop as Sickness moves in. That is going to be it for this stall. It was a brilliant stall coming out here from LG, but certainly not enough. However, 3 minutes remaining here for the Spicy Boys, and that is not always enough here, Hex, to get to the final point on Gibraltar.
Yeah, it's a long way. You got to go a little bit uphill, and it's generally going to have to win 2 fights, one to get around the corner and one to finish it out. Probably 2 fights to really finish it out unless you get a perfectly clean engagement. Ube is going to stick on to this Tracer, looking for those pulse bombs. High ground here for Tracer is so great because he can blink to the back lines. He's got Cozy in his sights. Cannot necessarily finish him, though. He's still messing around back there. Pulls them all out of position to go defend their supports.
Ube right now really trying to get in onto Ana, not able to make it happen. Throws out the pulse bomb for nothing. Offense though still a little bit staggered back. Cannot get the initiation that they're looking for right now. Very goes on defense, but there's a Graviton coming out here from Tig. Is a fall through there. He is his own fall through as he gets both Super Pluke and Ice Felt. 100% energy as that fight wrapped up. Moving forward, and now Spicy Boys gonna look to control the doorway here. Stop the defense from really getting good positioning, and Hex, they might be able to do it.
Yeah, they're in the perfect spot right now. The charges will meet each other halfway through. Retaking on Decop, though, is really nice for them. This Sound Barrier will help the offense sustain. There's a counter Sound Barrier out here, too. This is going to be mayhem.
Here comes a Graviton in, out from Spree, not eaten by the Diva. 100% charge, moving in, gets a double kill. But look at the payload. They have to go right back. They almost ignore the payload during this entire time. Spree, luckily, getting back to microwave some people just in time, but that would have been a huge, huge mistake if they let them push that through. 1 meter separating Spicy Boys here from extending this map.
It was very close to a critical mistake, as they were too far away from the cart as it pushed its way back. But now they have a huge advantage as far as the ultimates go. They've got everything up. If Ube can stick something early, that could be the end of this fight. There's really going to only be time for 1 good push and 1 scrappy push after.
Odds are in LG's favor here, given the ult situation and the time remaining on the clock. And Ube, if he can just get a single stick here, that might be all they need. There's the Earth Shadow. Let's get set up. Ube in from the back, takes down Tig, doesn't even throw out the pulse bomb. 2 kills here from LG. The only problem here, Hex, is that it is so decisive that there will be 1 more final attempt coming out here from the offense.
I would like to see Spree get in a weird position. Yeah, he is. He's going to hide in the corner here. They want to let them in, let Spree get behind them, make sure his grab does not get eaten, and then you're going to see a pulse bomb in there too. Really nothing to defend against it.
Spree right now creeping, hoping that a Diva does not look at him. Going for the Graviton into the back, connects! Will the fall through be there? Ube there at the Big Bang combo. Down goes Spo. 5v5 remaining for this final fight, but Decop lays down the Earth Shatter.
Doesn't matter.
Gets Diva out of her mech. Goes in, swings the hammer. No one's on him. Here come the Spicy Boys. 18 seconds remaining, Hex. And they are going to cap it out. We're going to some extra rounds here in Gibraltar.
Like, they hit everything they wanted to hit, they hit. But then everyone just got healed up all the way through it, right? I mean, maybe the grenade didn't go off when it should have, the bio grenade on the other side. They got 1 kill out of that Pulse Bomb Graviton combo, which grabbed 3. They got on it, but the healing was just too much there. The tank sustained through it, got 3 kills afterwards, and that's all they wrote for that offense for Spicy Boys.
Now, let's be clear about the offense coming in here. Really, between the two teams, there's not a whole lot of difference. 18 seconds... maybe might make a slight difference, but realistically speaking, it's about as close to even as you could expect for a rerun here of Watchpoint Gibraltar. And based on what we saw there, I think you have to give a slight edge to LG, but really any team's game.
Well, you have again coming out on defense from Spicy, high risk, high rewards, and Ana. I mean, in the end, it gave them a 18-second advantage and a little bit of LG misplay in terms of their ult usage at the end there. But this can work out. I mean, the only reason they weren't able to defend more earlier was because Luminosity smartly pushed them all the way around the map. They made sure that Dream had to go to blue, and then they made sure that Ana had to go to blue, and they were able to suffocate them. And they're going to have to do that same thing here again, because they are in the same positions as they were last time.
When you look at this defense coming out, what it forced the offense to last time was to rotate all the way through up top. It took them a long time to do so, and is going to again. So it is only going to be 1 push. They might not even have time to try to dislodge Casper in that way. You might just have to send Icefeld straight at him.
Well, the thing here is it puts a lot of pressure on Ube to get a very early pickoff. Even as quick as Tracer builds ultimate, I don't know if it's quick enough with 35 seconds remaining on the clock, so Ube is really going to have to make the most of this in diverting attention. And you take a look at how Luminosity is coming in here. They're not really well positioned to come in over the top, which means Dream Casper is going to have far more room here as Spree goes down to start up this fight.
Losing Spo early hurts, though. It's going to take them a long time to reinforce, and that is a lot of their damage and a lot of their healing already down as Superblock takes down his counter number as well. Casper trying to equalize things, still untouched above here, though, so they have to find something to do with him. He needs a giant grenade, has to get out of there.
That is one thing that'll stop his healing station from doing anything for him, but really there's not too much that can apply pressure to the Dream up here. Once Steve was knocked out from mech, that basically let him set up shop, set up a picnic basket, and now we're in overtime. The offense cannot back off for any reason, and they still don't have a good answer here for Dream, but we're gonna get Tracer versus 76 one-on-one here, and Dream not having any of it.
Kosu taking on clock there is actually a big deal as well, as this Earth Shatter should clean up the remnants of the cards, and you may be a good Tracer, but you're also dead now, Ube. This is going to be a defensive hold. Might be playing towards a draw.
Round 3.
Well, no, there's no way. Getting a draw here, both teams have to push the payload, so...
It's been a while.
It has been a long day, that's true.
I caught myself pretty quickly, but yeah.
It's like, wait a second, they were pushing that payload. I mean, technically, you can get a draw on payload maps. It is, I believe, the rarest occurrence you could ever have in the game if the payload is actually moved and it's not, both teams agreed to not push the payload. So it is technically possible. It's just not particularly
You don't have
likely.
to go to technicalities to save my buffoonery. I'm just wrong. Just wrong. I'll admit it. I'm fine with that.
Buffoonery, surely you jest.
Surely.
With honor.
So it worked out for Spicy again. It forced Ube to kind of have to dive onto Spo, and they did kill Zen early on, but that still left Ana and Soldier up on the high ground. And with Ice Cloud out of suit, he wasn't able to get back in time for them to really contest anything on the high ground, and they put up pretty solid defense. Now, this is Gibraltar, and you really only have one, maybe 1.5 fights anyway, but they are still going to have to be a little bit better here.
Well, the 18 seconds that Spicy Boys has, you think about it coming in from the side of Luminosity. Luminosity might have had enough time to go in and around if they had those extra 18 seconds. Instead, they just had to sort of roughly go in over the top, and it didn't really work for getting Dream off of his perch.
Yeah, let's pick it up. Come on, let's bring it together.
Well, it looks like they're going to run mostly mirrors here yet again. 4 tanks on either side. Ana and Lucio for either side. Nothing out of the ordinary. Hooks and charges coming right away as they do trade out. Losing Kasi early on is really going to hurt them, though. That is one pick that you do not want to have. On the other side, though, they did lose their Reinhardt, so not a great trade for either team, to be honest.
I think it's way better for the offense here because Decop can still hold up his shield, gonna give Dream some really good chances at relatively free hooks while Reinhardt is out of the fight. Looking for the hook right now, does not connect. That would have been potentially game-winning if he had hit it. And here come the Spicy Boys. They don't have to push this payload very far. The defense must move in right here, right now. And there's Dream. Gets a hook on the Zarya. Going to be putting Spree in a rough position. Has to back out. Meanwhile, Decop swinging the hammer on the point. Ube going the fall. 65 for the Spicy Boys. And Luminosity in a world of hurt right now. They're going to have to bring this back. Down members. But then Earth Shatter hits from Super Fluke. First to build it. Following through. The ground time comes in late here from Tig. And I don't know if the follow through is there. And Decop saying, I will drop an Earth Shatter as well. But he's killed immediately. Not able to be his own follow through.
It's breaking down there. That is another Graviton. That's going to take out Tig as well as they do continue to clean it up. Does Luminosity. It is only Sickness left. He's going to be demeched. It is no time to even try to stagger. It's just time to swing the hammer, clear him off the cart. It's going to be GG.
GGs are called. So it was a decent opening there from Spicy Boys, and it was looking good, but LG was able to overcome the early pick, get back in, and put the fight in their favor. And credit where credit's due to Super Fluke, building that ultimate up as quickly as he did.
Yeah, well, I think he had his best set of the night. Of the ones I've cast, but it looked like he was just absolutely playing better than he has the rest of the night. His charges were on point, his survivability was on point. We'll see his play of the match here.
Super Puck and Spree both playing very well in that series. And they're going to need both of them to play as well in the finals.
Bone crunching all around as the hammer makes its mark. Really, the sounds in Overwatch are great. It just anytime Reinhardt's saying stuff, it's just this visceral just crack, and it's really good. But what this means is that we will be getting our rematch. The Spicy Boys have run out of spice. Luminosity Gaming, burning bright, going to be going in against the one and only Hammers for our grand final. We're going to be taking a short break. When we come back, that grand final will be heading right your way. Stay tuned. This is the Alienware Monthly Melee for January.